Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Saturday, the 19th of July. I'm Michael Groff. Conditions a bit drier across south central Arizona today, including Phoenix. Temperatures will be pretty close to seasonal averages. However, even though the monsoon is on a bit of a hiatus, we will see a small increase in the number of showers and storms around tomorrow and Monday. Temperatures will also drop back a little bit those days and continue through about Tuesday or Wednesday before we start to warm up a bit. What about that monsoon? Are we going to see a more robust return, or are we just going to go back to dry and very hot weather, or a little bit of both? Well, we'll get into all of that and everything else as we dive on in and discuss. First, the Almanac from yesterday, 108 degrees was the afternoon high, 88 the morning low, 107 and 85 are the averages for this time of year. There's that record high of 118 degrees back in 2023. As we take a look outside right now at 8:45 a.m., scattered clouds around currently, and we're sitting at 91 degrees at Sky Harbor, but you can see it's dried out quite a bit. Dew points down to 45. Relative humidity, 18%. Wind light. Barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. We put it into motion. That kind of tells you the story as to what's going on. High pressure is located well to the east of us. We're on that western periphery of it. And the flow aloft is more southerly, even south-southwesterly, the further west you go. And while we do see some high clouds around right now, the deeper monsoon moisture remains well to our south and east. So widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible over the higher terrain today. But in our part of the state, it looks like things are going to be dry. Now, we also have that aforementioned upper low that's sitting to the southwest of us that will begin to move north as we go into tonight and tomorrow. Ultimately, that system will merge with a broader trough that's developing off of the west coast, and that will become a more dominant feature in our weather later this week, which is kind of unusual, to say the least, for the month of July. The watch warning map, obviously with that ridge over the plain states in the southeast, we've got extreme heat warnings and heat advisories from Missouri, some of the adjacent states down toward Memphis, central and north Florida, the Carolinas, some flood watches over there as well. Air quality alert for northern Minnesota. Things around here are pretty quiet at the moment. Convective outlook for today, the standard slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5, from around Williston, North Dakota, down towards Spearfish and Rapid City, South Dakota, Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Also places like Chicago, Milwaukee, Kenosha, Muskegon, Michigan, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Lansing, Detroit, and over in the Virginias as well. And then we've got that broader severe weather risk really extending from eastern Montana all the way to the middle Atlantic. In Arizona, we're in the green. Thunderstorms possible in a good portion of the state, although I would say the threat here in our neck of the woods is nearly nothing today. But this outlook does run through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we might start to see some storms develop throughout the day tomorrow. We're going to talk about that threat here in just a moment. Precipitation outlook valid through Saturday morning, the next Saturday morning. Rain amounts in Phoenix, not much. Statewide, generally under 1/2 inch. Of course, your amount will vary. This represents an average of what you'll see, but during the monsoon, any one location can obviously get more than what's shown here. So what's going on with this weird weather pattern that's developing over the southwest? Will we see any rain tomorrow? What's going on for next week? Well, there's a lot of questions. We'll try to find those answers as we get to the models right now, have a look at things, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS. This is the 06Z run. It's valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. High pressure remains well off to the east of us, the plain states, the southeast. We're on the western side of that. There's that upper low to our west and southwest. So what it's going to mean for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, some clouds around at times. High temperatures 103 to 107, pretty much in line with where we ought to be for this time of year. And widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop over the higher terrain of eastern and southeast Arizona today. There might be an isolated storm that develops elsewhere, but I just don't see a meaningful chance that we get anything here in the valley. I guess mathematically speaking, the chance of rain isn't absolutely zero, but it's so low that we're not going to put it in the forecast, that's for sure. For tonight, partly cloudy sky continues, overnight lows upper 70s to upper 80s, and then tomorrow, we'll see more clouds coming in. We've got that upper low. Again, that's off to our west and southwest. Some showers and storms are expected to develop across northern Mexico tonight. We're going to see lots of those debris clouds, those leftover clouds from those storms moving across southern Arizona. Maybe a little surge of moisture coming in here tomorrow. And that upper low is going to be moving northward. So there are some mitigating factors and some aggravating factors in the chance of storms for us tomorrow. First, on the mitigating side, again, we will have quite a bit of cloud cover, more clouds than sun tomorrow, mostly mid and high-level clouds. That's going to limit the thermodynamic support, so we won't get as much heating from the sun. Now, that's going to result in temperatures being cooler tomorrow, afternoon highs, probably somewhere around 97 to 101. Moisture levels should at least slightly increase tomorrow. We should at least see those dew points coming up, the precipitable water values coming up a bit. So when we put it all together to look at the chance of rain in Phoenix tomorrow, let's go to our high-resolution guidance. This is the 3-kilometer NAM, our simulated radar product tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And at that time, it does show some scattered showers and even some thunderstorms here across southern Arizona, and certainly over the higher terrain as well. And those will be moving north-northeastward as that low continues to lift on out of here. So there is dynamics involved. There's, some low-end cape here that's coming in. But with the clouds around, I just don't know. It sure seems like we're going to have limited daytime heating, and the lapse rates are going to be shallower. And in our part of the state, in the south central deserts, moisture is only going to be marginal. So we'll call for a slight chance of showers and storms through the day tomorrow. This is 1 o'clock, this is 5 o'clock, and you can see those storms kind of fall apart as they get toward the valley, at least according to the NAM. We might see a slightly better concentration of storms than that, but I think they'll still be pretty hit and miss. Only about a 10 to 20% chance we see anything here in the valley. And then by the time we get toward tomorrow night, some isolated storms are possible. Let's go to Monday. We'll continue with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms around here. A slight surge of moisture, better moisture around. So with somewhat more robust daytime heating, high temperatures should warm up at least a few degrees on Monday. We'll continue to call for at least isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours here in the valley. Slightly better chances of storms up north. But again, even if you're heading up north, camping, hiking, whatever you're going to do up there, I wouldn't cancel any outdoor activities. Just know that widely scattered, midday to late afternoon thunderstorms will be present, and high temperatures will be pretty close to, if not just ever so slightly below seasonal averages. Here in the valley, will be around 100 to 104. Keeping it going toward Tuesday, a drying trend is going to really start to take note. That upper low that's been with us, it's going to move northward. It's going to be absorbed by a broader trough that's developing off the northern California and Pacific Northwest coast. And as a result, that system is rather strong and rather persistent for this time of year. And with our ridge, our subtropical, what we call the monsoon high, well off to the east, we're under a broad southwesterly flow. That's going to really start to dry us out. Yes, a few storms over the higher terrain, but here in the lower deserts, high temperatures about 100 to 105, which is slightly below seasonal averages, but no real major threat of storms. We'll have a small chance of a storm in the forecast on Tuesday, but I think most of that will stay to the north and east of Phoenix. Wednesday looks fairly dry for us. High temperatures, again, around 100 to 105 here in the lower deserts as that upper low continues to sit right along or just off the California coast. And our ridge, that's normally here or should be over the Four Corners or somewhere over the southwest, remains over the Central Plain states and the southeast. But that ridge is going to slowly start to expand westward, and that trough is going to sit to the west of us, and we're going to see kind of a battle of air masses begin to develop as we go toward Thursday. So the upper heights are going to start to climb, so temperatures are going to start to warm up a little bit. Highs around 103 to 108 on Thursday, maybe tacking on a degree or so on Friday. And again, there might be a stray shower or storm over east, central, and southeast Arizona, but for the most part, conditions will remain dry over much of the state. Certainly in our part of the state, we don't anticipate any storm activity. And that trough remains to the west, but the upper heights are coming up. So it looks like at the moment, the ridge is going to win the battle ultimately. Let's keep going. This is a week from today, Saturday, the 26th. And yeah, that ridge is beginning to expand westward into the Rockies now and up to about a 594 ridge. For us, upper heights about 590 to 592 decameters. So temperatures, I'd say 105 to 110 degrees are likely here in the lower deserts. But as that ridge is expanding westward and it's nudging that trough a little bit further away from us, we're coming under more of an influence of that ridge. The flow aloft is gradually starting to switch back from the southwest to more of the southeast. And so that's going to mean that moisture will start to increase once again. So we'll see at least a return to widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms over the higher terrain with isolated storms possible here in the lower deserts. This is Sunday, the 27th, and that ridge is still expanding and it's getting stronger. Those upper heights climbing to 594 to about 597 decameters as that ridge is centered somewhere over Kansas or Nebraska. And we're, again, on the western edge of it, but again, the flow is more southeasterly. It remains to be seen exactly how much in terms of showers and storms we'll get here into the lower deserts, as this is still not an ideal setup, but at least rain chances start to increase somewhat. We'll have to look at the thermal profiles at this time. Maybe there's too much, warm air in the mid-levels for us to really get much in terms of storm activity here in the lower deserts, but at least it's hope. I know temperatures are warming up. That's not good. Highs somewhere between about 106 to 111 if this is right. Going out 10 days. This is Monday, the 28th. You know what that is, folks? That's a 600 decameter ridge. You don't see those too often. And that's sitting there over the plains and into Colorado. It is to the northeast of us. That's where you want to see a big ridge, but not quite that big. That is a really intense ridge that represents about the 99th percentile of climatology. That's very strong. We are on the 594 to 597 contour of that. But while there is a mitigating factor to warm air aloft, one thing is the GFS seems to want to bring around some inverted troughs or easterly waves into northern Mexico and far southern Arizona. So we may very well start to see an increase in the number of showers and storms, but with that ridge being as strong as it is, I think the chance of storms would be a little bit muted for us. But with higher humidity, again, we're going to kind of have a little bit of a battle of air masses within the battle of air masses that's taking place, kind of a battle within a battle. We've got the trough and the ridge kind of fighting it out. Right now, the ridge wins and pushes this trough a little bit further to the north and keeps it away from us, so we're more under the influence of the ridge. But within that ridge, we've got these easterly waves kind of rotating around it, bringing in some monsoonal moisture, but we also have kind of this warmer air in the mid-levels because this is such an intense ridge. So I would say at this point, probably just widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms would be in the forecast at this point. But again, this is 10 days out, so obviously things are likely to change between now and then, but model trends certainly are showing a much stronger, more pronounced ridge starting to take shape across the west, north or northeast of Arizona, which is a good spot. We just would like to see that ridge a little bit weaker, so we'd have somewhat cooler air in the mid and upper levels and still have that monsoon flow. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the next 7 to 10 days play out there. And again, synoptically speaking, yes, some scattered showers and storms over the higher terrain, widely scattered storms in the lower deserts. Looking at precipitation for the next 15 days. This is off the GFS Ensemble. This goes out through the 2nd of August. And the Ensemble mean about between a quarter and a third of an inch. The control member is way up there, though, well over 1/2 inch. European AI Ensemble says less than that, under a quarter of an inch for us. But many of the members are trying to pick up on at least some small chances of precipitation tomorrow or Monday, which is kind of interesting. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Tomorrow looks like it's the, if you want to call it this, the coolest day of the forecast period, air quotes included. And then we warm it up a little bit as we go into the first part of the week, but that's still below seasonal averages. Keep in mind the normal high, the average high this time of year, 106 or 107. So we'll be a couple of degrees below that on some days, but then we warm it up as we go later into the week and that following weekend. If that 600-meter ridge, 600 decameter ridge does materialize, temperatures may just wind up being a little bit warmer than what's shown here, dependent on that monsoon moisture. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back on Monday morning, but of course updates before that if necessary. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, then please do click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make those monetary contributions to us. Or you can donate via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. We have our Venmo. That's also linked up down in the description. And look, I get it. Not everybody can donate monetarily. There's no pressure here, no obligation. We offer this as a free service here. You're watching these videos. You like these videos. You comment. You share them. All of that helps us out. So, we really do appreciate it. Every single one of you out there. All right. With that being said, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, possibly Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description. Check that out. Okay. It's the weekend. I did forget. I sometimes forget this stuff. When you get to be my age, you start forgetting things. Sometimes you start hearing voices, seeing things that you don't normally see. Like you see some things from your past, like the phonograph, the record player. You remember the record player. Well, anyway, I did load up the CPC Outlook as well. So here it is. You got a little preview of that. This is the Climate Prediction Center Outlook, the 8 to 14 day Outlook. This goes from July 26th through August 1st. This is the precipitation outlook for that time, the 8 to 14 day period. And unfortunately, you know why I wanted to skip over it? Because nobody wants to see this, right? I'm covering it up right now with my hand. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not listening. I'm not looking. We've got below average precipitation is favored. The probability is skewed toward below average precipitation across the Southwest during that time. That's why I didn't want to show it. Sometimes I load up graphics and I'm like, do I really want people to see it? Because then if that's not bad enough, then there's this graphic. Temperatures in the 8 to 14 day period. Yeah, above average temperatures are favored. Surprise, surprise. Isn't this what we've had the last couple of years and really 5 of the last 7 years during the monsoon? Above average temperatures, below average precipitation chances. Great. I knew I should have taken those out of the rotation. Okay. Well, anyway, with that being said, yes, check out Michelle's videos, her blogs, everything Michelle related and Adriana related. It's all linked up in the description below. Our streaming station, that's linked up down below as well. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. That is also linked up down in the description. KMGX. It's a great station. What can I say? Yeah. KMGX. Yeah. So check that out. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe. Stay cool. Stay hydrated out there and have yourselves a grandiose, a wonderful, a delicioso rest of your Saturday.